Music can give you superpowers, and I don't think I'm telling you anything brand new. In fact, I think you already know exactly what I'm talking about. You felt it. Maybe it was some old song from high school, or it was that Taylor Swift song that you secretly listened to with headphones and on low volume. Whatever it was, you know what I'm talking about. And maybe that sounds dramatic, but I think music doesn't just entertain us. Sometimes it reminds us of who we're trying to become. Now, before we get deeper into this, let me explain what this channel actually is. Hi, my name is Tony, and this is Tony Platinum. The whole idea is simple. I started a brand new PlayStation account, and every game I play on it, I have to platinum. So while you're watching me slowly lose my sanity in the background, the real point of these videos is the commentary. It's talking about the stuff that comes with being in your 20s. So if that sounds like something you'd watch, make sure to subscribe, because this is only the beginning. And as you guys can see, the game in the background today is Cyberpunk 2077. Now, obviously, I'm not getting the platinum in one video. This game is way too big for that, and I do actually like sleeping sometimes. So this is going to be part of a longer Cyberpunk series on the channel. Every video will move us a little closer to the platinum, whether that's story progress, side missions, trophies, collectibles, or whatever other chaos this game decides to throw at me. Now, for anyone who somehow doesn't know what Cyberpunk is, this game basically drops you into Night City, which is this massive futuristic city full of crime, corruption, body upgrades, gangs, and celebrities, and people doing literally anything to become somebody. So basically LA with better lighting. You play as V, a mercenary trying to make a name for himself, and honestly that's kind of the perfect setup for this channel, because this game is about chasing status, trying to survive, which is maybe something you could relate to, especially in this economy, and figuring out who you are while the world keeps pushing you in different directions, which is dramatic, but also I'm just here trying to get trophies. The platinum is rated around a 3 out of 10 with one playthrough and an uncomfortable amount of around 70 hours to actually get the platinum. So we're going to be spending a lot of time in Night City, and speaking of spending a lot of time somewhere, I've been spending a lot of time in my car lately. For those who don't know, I'm currently trying to get into the union, and this week I took time off work to go job searching and hopefully put myself in the best position to finally make that happen. Then yesterday I was driving back from the gym, music was playing, and since I'm always looking for something to talk about in these videos, I started thinking about music. Not because I just discovered music has power. I've always known music can mess with you. We all know that, and movies figured this out a long time ago. That's why movies use it so much. A scene can be sad, but the music makes it heartbreaking. A scene can be inspiring, but the music makes you feel like you need to change your entire life by Monday. And yeah, that sounds dramatic, but we all know it's true. Music can make or break the moment. And speaking of moments feeling bigger than they probably should, getting our first Cyberpunk trophy, the Fool, which is a crazy trophy name to get this early. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of feels like Cyberpunk is calling me out, but this one is basically story related, so nothing too crazy. Still counts though. Anyway, where was I? Right. Music can make or break the moment. And I think the reason that's true is because music doesn't just sit in the background. It changes the way you experience what's happening. If I want to allegedly drive faster on the freeway and start cutting up like I'm Squeeze Benz, I'm not putting on sad piano music, I'm putting on rap. Allegedly, of course. If I'm feeling lonely and wishing I had somebody to cuddle with, I'm not putting on hype music, I'm putting on love songs and making the situation 10 times worse like a professional. So we already know music affects us. We use it to match our emotions, enhance them to feel happy, sad, motivated, and locked in. But I think most of us stop there. And what if music can do more than change how I feel? What if it can change who you are for the next 10 minutes? Because that's really what I'm talking about. Not music as entertainment, music as a ritual. A way to step into the version of yourself you need to become. And that's exactly what music can do in real life. It can make an ordinary moment feel important, a regular drive feel like preparation, and a nervous morning feel like a mission. And humans have always done this. Athletes have pre-game rituals, fighters have walkout songs, soldiers march to drums, religious groups use chants and songs. People have always used sound, rhythm, and repetition to change their state. A good example of this is that scene in The Wolf of Wall Street where all the stockbrokers are in the office getting ready to make calls before they even start selling. They're already hyping themselves up, they're beating their chest, they're making noise, building rhythm. The whole room starts to feel like something like some weird Wall Street locker room. And I know technically in that scene they're not playing a song, but that's kind of the point. It's still rhythm and sound, a ritual they're using before they perform. Before they start selling, they're trying to get their mind and body into the right state. And I think that's the part people should actually pay attention to. You don't wait until you're already in the moment to try to become ready. You use music before work, the gym, a hard conversation, something that makes you nervous. before whatever version of your day requires a different version of you. Because the music is what helps you find the rhythm. And once you find the rhythm, it's easier to move like you're already locked in. The only difference is we don't call it a ritual, we call it a playlist. That's why I think you have to be intentional with the music you listen to. And when I say build a playlist, I don't mean throw random songs in there because you like them. Because there's a difference between a song you like and a song that actually does something to you. Think about the songs that made you feel confident or make you feel more focused. Songs that made you feel in a way that almost felt good. And made you want to move different, drive different, walk different, think different. Those are the songs you're looking for. And maybe you can't think of them right now. Honestly, I can't always think of them either. But once you start paying attention to music this way, you'll start noticing it, and a song will come on and you'll realize, wait, this is changing how I feel right now. And when that happens, don't just let it pass. Save it, put it in the playlist where it belongs. Oh, and speaking of building things, right here we ended up getting another trophy, the Stanislavski's Method trophy. This one is actually one of 2 missables, so I made sure to knock this one out. This trophy is for using dialogue options related to your life path, and since I picked Corpo, I had to make sure I chose enough Corpo dialogue options, which was fairly simple, but this is exactly the kind of trophy that scares me, and I don't need that kind of pressure, especially this early. But it's all good because we got it. Anyway, going back to music. And look, I know this sounds easy when you're already in a good mood, and you're probably wondering about the mornings where you don't feel like it, and I know what that feels like. You get in the car and your mind is already clouded. You're thinking about work, thinking about what you have to do later, about something that happened yesterday or might happen tomorrow, and somehow you're already tired before the day even starts. When your brain is using that much energy, even putting a song can feel like effort. Like the music would probably help, but now you have to pick the song, decide what mood you're even trying to be in, and when you're mentally drained, that little step can be enough to make you do nothing. So that's why the playlist matters. You have to make it easy for your tired self. So when that moment comes, you don't have to think, you don't have to search, you just press play, and maybe at first you still don't feel it, that's fine. The goal isn't to instantly become motivated. The goal is to give the music a chance to pull you out of your own head. And I think one of the funniest examples for my point is that Jason Statham meme. The situation is supposed to be terrifying. You're kidnapped, you're in the back seat, you have no idea where you're going, but then the song comes on and suddenly it's like, hold on, this kind of hits. This music is so good that it takes over the moment. For a second, it doesn't even feel like danger anymore. It feels like a vibe. The funny thing is, everybody watches that clip and laughs, but at the same time, everybody understands it because we've all done that. Maybe not the being kidnapped part, but we've all had a song come on and suddenly we're singing every word, bobbing our head, moving with the music, and feeling more alive than we did 30 seconds ago. And that's the ritual. That's the moment when you're not just listening anymore, you're participating. You're letting the music pull you into a different state, and that's what I'm going to try this week. Before I walk into these places and shake hands and explain why I deserve an opportunity, I'm going to use music on purpose. Not just to feel good or because I like the song, but to become who I need to be in that moment. For me, that probably looks like loud music, bass bumping, windows down, the wind hitting my face, singing the lyrics out loud, even if I don't feel like it, especially if I don't feel like it. Not because I'm pretending to be somebody else, but because I'm reminding myself of who I can be when I'm locked in. Maybe music doesn't magically give me confidence or solve everything, and I still get rejected and have to keep trying. And believe me, that's what it's been like for these past few months. But if music can make me 10% more confident or brave or willing to put myself out there, then why wouldn't I use that? And I know some people might hear this and think, okay, but I already do this. And honestly, you probably do. But the difference is intention. Most of us use music accidentally. A song comes on, it changes our mood, and we kind of just go with it. But what I'm saying is, once you realize music can do that, start using it on purpose. Don't just wait for the right song to randomly find you. Put it where you need it. Alright, cool. Now that we got that clarified, let's talk about the next trophy. The next trophy is Right Back at You. This one is for killing or incapacitating an enemy who threw a grenade at you, which is funny because I'm trying to have this deep conversation about music changing your emotional state, and in the background I'm practicing self-defense, which apparently means attacking first and asking no questions ever. That's balance. That's trophy number 3 for this session, and funny enough, that's actually the last trophy we get in this video. Not because I was avoiding trophies or anything, it's just that a lot of these trophies seem like they're going to come later once the story opens up more and the game lets me actually start doing everything. So for now, 3 trophies is what we're working with. The platinum journey is officially moving. Now, back to the point. I think the ritual is simple. First, pick the music that actually changes your state. The music that makes you feel like the version of yourself you need to become. Second, don't just listen to it, participate in it. Sing the lyrics, move with it, let yourself get into it a little bit. Because the point isn't to hear the song, the point is to enter the state. And third, attach it to a moment that matters. Before the gym, before work, an interview, a hard conversation, before you do the thing you keep avoiding. Use music like a switch, because maybe music doesn't actually give you superpowers, but it can help you step into a version of yourself that feels powerful. And sometimes that's enough. Sometimes you don't need your whole life to change. You just need 3 minutes. One song, one ritual, one small reminder that the confident version of you is already in there. You just have to give him something to walk out to. And then, of course, Cyberpunk had to ruin the vibe. Because right after all this, Jackie dies. I'm not gonna lie, Jackie's death actually caught me by surprise. He was a real ride or die from the beginning, so seeing him go out like this definitely changed the feeling of the game. Rip Jackie. I'll see you in the major leagues, man. If you know, you know. Anyways, that's gonna be it for part 1. There's still a lot of Night City left, a lot of trophies left, and probably a lot more emotional damage waiting for me. But before we go our separate ways, I actually want to ask you something. What's that one song that puts you in that state? The song you play before the gym, before work, a long drive, something you're nervous about, a song that makes you feel like a different version of yourself for a few minutes. Drop it in the comments, because honestly, I'm always trying to find new music. And who knows, maybe somebody else watching needs that exact song too. But that's it for this one. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe. This is Tony Platinum, real life talk over Platinum gameplay, and I'll see you in the next one.
See you in the major leagues, Jack.